Good evening and salutations, my GH fans. Wow. Um, let's just get right into it. Jackie and Finn were a thing. I didn't see that one coming. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't see that one coming. And then when they got into the room and, Finn was like, shouldn't we just talk about what happened, like what really happened? I was like, I'm sorry, what really happened? So it turns out his whole hatred for his dad, about him remarrying too early, in his opinion, wasn't it wasn't so much the case. I'm not saying to saying like he wasn't upset that his dad remarried so soon. I think that that's still somewhat true, but it wasn't as much that really drove them apart. It was, well, it was their relationship. Their relationship, Jackie and Finn's relationship that really pushed pushed him and his father away. And just the reason why he changed his name and, wow, you know. She wanted to be with him and he was just like, what am I doing with my life, as far as, being with my dad's soon-to-be wife, so he didn't handle it well, and, she could sit there and say that she just made a choice, but what it really came down to was that the dad was a consolation prize. I don't care how you sit there and put it, how, one second, how she tried to justify it as, she was saying things like, oh, well, I still have feelings for him, and, like, I still loved him also. It was like, no. Boo-boo, at the end of the day, you can sit there and tell yourself all that in the third, and and you're the only person that's going to believe that, and that's fine, but, yeah, it was a consolation prize. He was a consolation prize. And so, Finn is like, you know what? For Chase's sake, pretty much, let's just kind of be family and kind of start to move forward. Because Jackie was like, you know what? We can try, Because at first, Finn was like, I think that the damage that I did, as far as that distance was so long, I don't know if I could repair it, And, Finn, I think, asked, like, why didn't you ever sit there and tell him? And, Jackie was like, it was too much time that passed by. Which is probably true. And plus, she did it to protect him and just... wow. So, they're talking, and, Chase comes upstairs, and he sees them just kind of just in the same room. He's like, what's going on? And Finn's like, you know what? I think I'm gonna try to kind of do this whole family thing, get Anna involved, and just, try to, rebuild some bridges. And, Chase was all happy, and he was hugging him. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of thought that was actually a pretty cool moment. Something about when Chase is, like, that happy, and it's just like that all-American, apple pie kind of Captain America kind of guy. You just can't help but to sit there and be happy with the guy. It's just crazy. I'm sitting there just thinking about that. I was like, when Chase first came in, I mean, granted, he was a Red Sox fan. Apparently, that's a bad thing. And, he was also Nathan's he was Nathan's replacement. And so he had a lot of, climbing up, as far as, like, kind of proving himself. But I'm not going to lie, I kind of liked him off the bat a little bit. I mean, not at first, obviously, when he rested Mike, but, like, afterwards, So he's always been, like, a really cool character. And so, yeah, he was happy. He hugged, Finn, and Jackie was like, she was smiling and happy, and also just like, man, I hope this secret doesn't get out. Spoiler alert, it's probably going to get out at some point. Just throwing it out there. I mean, we know how these secrets just never stay secret for too long. Damn, there's a lot of people in this. Carly and Jax were pretty much just fillers. they were fillers because all they really did was told anybody who's just watching this for the first time about the whole Nell thing and you know how she's having nightmares and stuff like that. First of all, she came over there to she came to Nina's place and Jax was there to bring over some wine and kind of smooth things over for, you know, breaking that headstone. And then they get to talking and it's just pretty much just everything that everyone already knows about. You know, she's having night terrors with Nell and she feels guilty and she feels like she's missing something, like there's something that she's not remembering. And listen, here's the thing. The minute that she decided to get some glasses and pour some wine with him, I was just like, I'm not gonna lie, this is a bad look. I mean, come on now. You know that he's dating somebody else, and he's sitting there with his ex, just drinking wine, in her house. Nah, she's gonna be totally cool with that. I mean, yeah, no, optics, I can totally see that. Are you kidding me? So of course when Nina came back, she had that look like, really? I mean, and honestly, to tell you the truth, I can't blame her. I really can't. Now let's rewind it back a little bit. Sasha came in there, and she was a mess. I mean, just, yeah, she was a mess. So she came in the bar, Metro Court, and she was, you know, pretty much just hounding the bartender for drinks and stuff like that. And Valentine was like, yo, chill. And at first Chase came in there and he was like, Cassidy, what are you doing? I get that he's calling himself Cassidy, but technically he's not really a Cassidy. Not really, so you could have just called him Valentine. And at first I was like, dude, what are you doing? And granted, she did say, get off me, so whatever. But then, you know, Valentine's like, yo, listen, you need to, like, deal with her. I mean, he was like, you know, be a friend, but really it was just deal with her. And so Chase, here's the thing I don't understand. How did he not know? This isn't the first time that Sasha was high in front of him. And he's supposed to be a detective. And somehow you can't sit there and like, detect when somebody is, like a little high or speed or something. Nothing. So, you know, she's not there kind of giving the act of, you know, I just want to blow some steam and, you know, kind of figure what I did and just kind of just live a little. And, you know, she pretty much reassures Chase that she's okay, and, you know, plus Chase actually has something to do, so he's like, you know what, if you need me, just call me, and, don't, you know, don't drink and drive. So while she is harassing the bartender, you know, you pretty much got Curtis talking to Nina about the search, and just pretty much narrowing stuff down. Talking about it's gonna, you know, cost, you know, this isn't gonna be cheap, and, you know, Nina's like, I got money, don't worry about it. Valentine just comes right on in, it's like, nah, I got the tab, don't worry about that. And here we go again with this whole Valentine thing. I don't really understand. I don't know if he understands the word consolation prize, but in his eyes, he feels that Jax is going to disappoint her, and when she's heartbroken and everything like that, she's just going to run back to Valentine. And I just don't understand how, like, I can just be with someone, I do something to mess things up. And I mean royally, not like, you know, pretty much on the level of Valentine. And I know this person's going to disappoint her. And I'm just cool with just sitting back and be like, nah, you'll come back to me eventually. I mean, I know love is love, but you gotta have some sort of self-value in yourself, you know? And to sit there and just be like, nah, I'm cool with this person just going out and being with somebody else and just coming back to me and me just being that cool about it, I don't think that I could. I don't know if there's enough love in the world that could just be like, nah, I'm just going to sit back, watch her do whatever it is with this guy, and then when she's done and, you know, she's had enough, I'll just take her back. Like, that's just cool. Like, no. You know what, honestly, to tell you the truth, I'm not going to really get into that, because I feel like that's a back and forth conversation with the whole, you know, how much is your pride worth your, you know, like, your pride worth love, and I'm just not going to get into that, but I just don't really feel that I can do that based on not just pride, just my own value, but, anyway, they argue back and forth like usual, doesn't really go anywhere. Next thing you know, there's a crash, because Sasha is just off the walls. I mean, whatever she took, I mean, she is fired up. She knocks over a glass. Curtis sees that, and Curtis goes to help. Of course, he sees, you know, the drugs just right there. Nina and Valentine comes out, and they pretty much kind of smooth things over with the, I don't know why I thought I can actually do this whole thing without drinking at least once. Try to, you know, smooth things over with the bartender, because the bartender's like, yo, listen, I'm gonna call the cops, I'm gonna call security, whatever I gotta do, I gotta kick you out. Sasha is high as hell, and she's all like, oh, I know the owner, I used to date his son, and I'm like, that's not really painting you in a positive light. You should really stop talking. Nina, you know, despite what Sasha did to Nina showed grace and compassion and was like, you know what, I got you, I know you're high, we're just gonna just hang out until you come down. And I was like, you know what, that's pretty awesome of Nina. I think at this point we all know about my dislike for Nina. Going back to the whole Charlotte thing. With that being said, she was pretty cool about it with Sasha, and she was like, you know what, I'm not going to see you in pain despite whatever I have towards you, you know, because that's not going away, but being the better person, she did the right thing. And of course, by doing the right thing, she took her back to her place where she saw, you know, Jax hugging Carly over wine. Because, you know, that looks good. Kevin and Anna talk. Anna pretty much told her story about Peter and if she is or not the mother, or if Alex is, and, you know, she's like, I need that sample, and Kevin was like, I can't do that. Legally, he was like, legally, I can't do that. You know, and of course, we all knew that. And even Kevin was like, but you knew that because if you did, you wouldn't have tried to break in. But since I'm going to be running a battery test, I'll just test that thing that you're looking for, and, you know, you don't actually have to, you know, be trying to worry, and I don't have to violate any laws, because, you know, for whatever odd reason, and I mean, granted, I know they probably violate the laws before, but that HIPAA thing, I'm just not getting over that, with the whole Willow Tate thing. So he pretty much kind of just circumvened the law, which probably made sense because plot, we just need to happen for some reason. We need it to happen, and that was the fastest way for it to go about it. Now, let's go with Dustin and Dante. Dustin v. Dante. So, you know, you got Lulu and Dante talking, pretty much kind of making small talk, really. Dustin shows up, and then, you know, he's sitting there talking about the shower and stuff like that, and You know, how, like, he's there for Maxie and stuff like that. And then, they talked for a little bit, and I don't remember where it goes, but pretty much Dustin was like, so, why don't we just get to know each other? And they stand there, and it's just this standoff, you know? I felt like I was in a Western for a minute, you know? They're just, like, staring at each other, and, you know, that's when Dante was like, so, you know, maybe I should be getting ready to, maybe I should be, you know, trying to get to know you, because, you know, you are staying in a house with my son, and, I'm not gonna lie, when you said that, I was like, should somebody start calling the cops? Because I feel like there's about to be a fight that's about to break out, and just this awkward tension, not awkward tension, but just tension, just real heavy tension. And even when Peter and Maxie came over and they were talking, you know, they were all talking and stuff like that, and, you know, Dante was like, you know, maybe I don't need to be here, because, you know, whatever reasons or whatever that, I don't remember what he said, but he was just like, I just, you know, don't need to be there. But he talked to Peter and was like, you know, he apologized for how he came off. And, you know, when Peter was like, you know, what are you doing? Dante was like, I'm looking for security work. And so when Peter came back and talked to the four of them, Peter was like, you know, do you think it's okay if I hire Dante for, you know, private security? You know, given the whole Cyrus Renault thing. Now, yeah, I should sit there and mention... One second. Oh, I should sit there and mention that there was this really awkward conversation between Maxie, Dustin, and Lulu. And they were... Well, Dustin pretty much was like, you know, we're living together and it's permanent. And then Lulu says something along the lines of, like, the furniture or whatever, because Maxie was like, why didn't you tell me? And she made up some sort of story that seemed like it didn't really, like, track. And Maxie was like, okay, cool, so I'm just going to talk to the sitter, and I'm going to let y'all two just figure out whatever that was. And Dustin was like, are you sure you want me living here with you? Like, I know he's back and everything, but did you change your mind? And Lulu was like, no, nothing's changed, we're good, you know, we just gotta talk to kids and everything like that, and everything's good. She pretty much tried to use, like, the kids as a reason for, like, that sort of awkward pause. And I'm just sitting there thinking, Lulu, you seriously need to figure out what's going on with your feelings with Dante, because you're gonna wind up hurting one or both people, you know, one or both of them. And it's not fair to Dante, to some extent. But it's really not fair to Dustin. You know, because he gave her a chance to back off if she wanted to pursue something with Dante. She said no. And I'm sitting there thinking, I'm like, Dustin, if she doesn't make a decision about her feelings, you need to make it for her. And I feel like that's going to wind up happening. I feel like Brooklyn's going to wind up playing a role in that because she's Brooklyn. And by the way, does anyone remember what the old actress looked like of Brooklyn? Because I was sitting there thinking about that all day at work. I was like, I only remember this new Brooklyn. And I remember that something along the lines of the other actress being pregnant, and that's why, you know, she wasn't filming and stuff like that. So I'm sitting there thinking, what did the other actress look like? I know there was a backlash about the age of the new Brooklyn and how she looked like she's older than she is or whatever. It's whatever. Anyway, when Peter was asking, you know, Lulu about hiring Dante, Dante was outside and he was like, yeah, I'm in, you know. But he's still on a mission to sit there and bring down Peter. That didn't change. One second. Yes. And that's it. I really want to sit there and make sure that I had talked pretty much about everything that really happened. Because there was a lot of people. It was a lot of people. I'm not going to lie. I always sit there and look at these reviews. I'm just like, my GH reviews like 19, 20 minutes. I think my days was a little bit longer than normal because I was mostly ranting towards the end. But I always look at my days reviews, and my days is like 10 minutes long, the most sometimes. And then I look at my GH, and I'm like, it's like 20, 19 minutes. And not to sit there and bring up Brock TV, but I'm always sitting there looking at some of his reviews, and sometimes they are like 20, 21 minutes or whatever, 24 minutes. I'm just like, I remember when you sit there and watch his reviews before I started doing my own reviews. And depending on how long they were, sometimes I'd be like, I don't know if I feel like watching the whole thing. And sometimes I would, sometimes I wouldn't. But, when I started doing it, I sometimes would sit there and think about the length and how long I want the videos to be and how long I don't want them to be and if it's too long for some people. But then I realized with GH, it's not like days. Like, days is condensed, They generally tend to focus on 2 stories. And usually if there's a third one, it's fluff. It's just extra padding to draw out the hour. With this, it's like so many characters. And I look and I'm just writing down names or whatever, and I'm just like, how the hell am I actually going to get through all this? Without it being like super long. And I realized that, well, I don't cut corners, and I'm not going to talk super fast, so... And I do give my opinions whenever I talk about this stuff, so with that being said, it generally tends to be longer, and that's really why. Just in case anyone's wondering. With that being said, I said this in my other review, but I'm going to say it in this one. So, I have a root canal that I have to do tomorrow. And I'm going to write it down because I didn't say it in the beginning. I have a root canal that I'm going to be doing tomorrow. That I have to get done tomorrow. They're generally not painless, at least with my dentist, which is great. But it leaves my mouth really numb, and I'm not going to just get into the specifics, but the point is, I don't want to watch myself talk on camera with a numb mouth. So, my review is probably going to come out a little more later. Just as, just to the time period of the Novocaine wearing off. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but I think I am. My point is, yeah, I just have to pretty much kind of wait till the Novocaine wears off, and then, I'll do the review after I watch the episode. Could I make sure they Novocaine me the hell up? I like doing pain. I really don't. I mean, no one does, but no. Especially, like, dentist-wise, no. So I'll tell them, do as much as it is needed until I don't feel a damn thing. So, with that being said, sorry for ranting, but I kind of want to bring that up because I almost sort of forgot. With that being said, I hope everyone is having a great night. If you're watching this now, hope everyone has a great day tomorrow when you're watching this. Be safe. Let me know what you thought of this whole episode, this whole Jackie and Finn thing. In the beginning, I was sitting there thinking, is Chase, is Finn's Chase's son? Like, is he? I don't know. I mean, I don't think so. But, like, the whole time I was like, so y'all, and you sure that Chase is his, like, let me know what you think of this whole episode. I'm gonna go. Be safe. I will catch you in the next review. And by the way, just to plug it again, I will be doing reviews of This Is Us. If anyone watches that show, my first review I'm going to try to do it on Thursday because it's a 2-hour episode, 2-hour premiere. And I kind of want to really, like, do a really good job because my Council of Dads review, got better towards the end, but I really, like, I want to do better, my point is. So, that's why I'm taking my time to make sure I do it right. And if anyone has not watched This Is Us, you should watch This Is Us, because it's great. It's great. I'm not going to really get into it, but my point is, long story short, when I heard about This Is Us. Everyone talked about it. I was like, what is this? This Is Us? Like everyone's making such a big deal out of it, you know? And I didn't understand it. And I seen people on YouTube was talking about it, and they were talking about it crying and everything like that. I was like, what is this? And I watched the first episode, and 40 minutes into it, and I was in tears. The first episode, and I was like, oh, wow. Yeah, okay, so I understand. I understand what everyone's talking about now. So, yeah, if you haven't watched that show, watch it. Even if you don't watch my reviews, watch the show. I'm gonna go now. Be safe. Let me know what you think of this episode.